Okay, so after having watched Doctor Sleep, I wanted to revisit Mike Flanagan's filmography, and of course, one of those being Ouija, Origin of Evil, Ouija, Ouija, however you want to say it. But of course, I was like, fuck it. You know, if I'm gonna do one, I better do the one that comes before it. And that, of course, is the first Ouija. I say Ouija. It makes sense that it's Ouija, right? But I've just always been saying Ouija, so I'm gonna go with Ouija, almost like a squeegee, if we were gonna rap about it. But I'll have to say this: if you were going to watch both of these, which I do think that it's very necessary to watch this one. Okay, it's not necessary because it's not very good, but the thing I will say about it is that, and this is more this is more praise for the second one, of course, as all of it will be. But in my review for Ouija Origin of Evil, I had said that I didn't even know if this had related to the original. You know, this one that I'm about to talk about, which I bought this specifically to do for this one day. I wanted to do these back to back, and I was like, well, I got to get the other one. You know, just got to have it for the collection. But this very, very much is addressed and used in Ouija Origin of Evil. I mean, fucking like completely. Like, it shows you how forgettable this movie is. I saw this film in theaters, and man, was it lame. Just so generic. I don't think it's horrible, like, you know, everyone claims it to be. That being said, I guess it really comes down to your definition of what horrible means. Like, is horrible generic, uninspired, kind of like forgettable movie? Then yeah, it's horrible. And I completely understand anyone calling something like that horrible, because as I've said a trillion times, I'd rather a film try something different and fail than play by the safe rules and make something like just barely passable. And I feel like this is what this film is. This is just take zero risks, do nothing original, nothing unique, play by the fucking horror movie handbook, knock out every trope there is, have completely uninspired scares, all that kind of stuff. So, and I'll save all my commentary for the second film in the second one, so I'm going to leave it at that for the second film. But that all being said, let's talk about this. I don't really have a lot to say about it, honestly. I only have half a page of notes compared with my 2 full pages of notes for Dr. Sleep. So I expect this to be pretty quick. This is rated PG-13, as is the prequel that Flanagan made, and I feel like the prequel shows you very well how you, with a movie like this, you don't really need an R rating. Spooky, like ghost stuff, I just don't feel like most of the time warrants an R rating. I mean, if they want to make it that way, that's fine. If they want to add curse words or gore, I'm all for it, sure. But this is the kind of film that really doesn't need to be R rated. So the PG-13 isn't what's holding it back, for sure. But it is PG-13. Of course, we get the rules laid out for us in the opening. You have to say this, you know, opening thing, never play alone, and always say goodbye. And maybe there's another rule, I don't remember. And this movie stars Olivia Cooke, who I really like. So it's cool to see her. It's just kind of a shame that she's stuck in something so mediocre. Love the idea of taking the planchette off of the Ouija board and looking through it to see the ghost. I think that's great. I don't think that's ever supposed to have been an intention of the board and was just written that way for the movie, but I could be completely wrong. I don't remember seeing this in any other Ouija witchboard type of movie. Of course, I'm referencing Witchboard or the 2 sequels that followed that. I don't think I've covered those on the channel. I've seen all 3 of them, but I think I watched all 3 of them in a row before I started the channel. I'm going to have to look back. You know, I'm nearing 2,000 fucking things on the channel. In fact, I'm getting to a place where I'm like looking through my collection at series and I'm like, holy fuck, man, I've done like almost every one of these. Like, there's definitely ones left, but man, they are starting to run thin. I've done so much content that it really is like slim pickings in a lot of ways. So that's becoming quite the problem. Anyways, but yeah, the whole planchette thing, is that a thing? Is that been used in anything else? If not, that's a really cool idea. A super cool idea, and Flanagan was smart to continue that on into the next film, because I really think that's pretty smart. And so, okay, a few things. I really like the hanging in the opening. The girl who gets hung by the Christmas lights, the way her body comes down really fast and snaps. I don't know. I've talked about vicious hangings on the channel before. There's something about them that's so visceral. It always kind of gets me a little bit. Like, where I'm like, ooh, like just the impact. It's always like if they come down hard and their like neck snaps and the way the body moves and how fast of the impact and how sudden their body stops, and in your brain like that would kill you. Like, I don't know, there's something about it, even though it's not gory, it's still really fucked up, and I love the look of this hanging. I like how she comes down and just snaps. So that was really good. And so we got Olivia Cooke and her sister, who's the fuck up of the family, which kind of plays into this a little bit. It's really just how her sister gets involved with her, because she catches her like sneaking some guy over, and she's like, nope, you're coming with me, and I'm gonna get you fucking like near killed by a demon. Like, it's better than you getting pregnant. Okay, so he's gonna put something inside of you, but I'm not allowing that. I'm actually gonna go put a fucking demon inside of you. So, yeah, fuck up on her sister's part there. Probably when she's going to do something like that, she probably shouldn't be bringing her sister along with her, but she thought she was protecting her. She was wrong, although she does end up surviving. It doesn't matter. She's probably traumatized forever. And I like how this guy she's asking him to, like, go fix the pool cover, and for some reason and of course this is a setup to where it's, okay, it's foreshadowing for his death later in the film, but regardless, it's supposed to be setting it up for this. Oh my god, is he going to get pushed into the pool? Is this going to be his demise right here? No, of course it isn't at that moment, but it feels like it could be. Anyway, he's like reaching out, he's like reaching, and he's like laying down on the ground, he's reaching as far out as he can, and it's like, you can just go to like the top of the pool and grab where it is, and then just like bring it around with you to where you're trying to pull it. Genius. Like, when he was, like, reaching out like that, I mean, I guess he's supposed to be a teenager, so he's a dumb fuck, but, dude, I don't know any teenagers that are, well, I was going to say, not that dumb, but fuck, man, most teenagers I've met are dumb. But they're supposed to be. You're teenagers. I was an idiot when I was a teenager. We all are. We think we fucking aren't. We really think we're so smart. We really got to figure it out, and everyone above us is, or older than us, is so stupid and lame and whatever. And oh, a rude awakening comes. A rude awakening comes. And of course, the superstitious older grandma lady type figure of the movie is like, "Don't you play with those Ouija boards? I don't like it." This is typical of any fucking horror movie you've ever seen in your life. Then we get a montage of the girl saying "hi friend" to all of them in many different ways, which is, I don't know, just seems overly played. They do it like 7 times in a row, so just feels like it's filling up and eating runtime by that point. When she looks through the planchette, Olivia, she sees one young kid who's like, her mouth is agape, and then her mom, she's like, "Oh, my mom," and she's like, the mom looks like it's the monster of the movie, and she runs at her, and they got these big wide open mouths. Another thing that Flanagan kept for his film, keeping with the continuity, Of course, he does it a million times better, but that's to be expected. And the second one really shows you what a proper director and writer can do, because it's a prequel to a fairly fucking lame ass movie, and I think it's pretty great. So we'll get there. And oh man, when that girl gets picked up and is floated above her sink and then is dropped onto her head, yikes, sucks. What a shit way to go. And then yeah, we get the white eyes of everybody. It's like this movie knew Mike Flanagan was gonna do it. Maybe that's why he even agreed to do it. He was like, "Oh, it has Flanaganisms like built into it, white eyes that I do in every single thing I'm ever gonna do in my entire career. Sign me up. I can write a prequel to that. It's almost like you wrote it for me." Then of course the family that is the ghosts in this are the family from the prequel that Mike Flanagan made. So that's really, really cool. The Xander family. They go to visit Lynn Shay, who is the older sister from the first movie, growed up. And then they find the dead body of the little girl whose mouth is sewn shut. And when, the sister tells him to do that, that'll open her mouth so that she can control the mom, and the mom's the issue. But of course, when she cuts the bounds, she finds out that it is not the mom that is the issue. It is the sister, and the sister, it has now been freed for real. So she set her up, and the sister's crazy at this point and wants to help her sister get free, which I thought was pretty cool, actually. And blah blah blah. So yeah, like when that kid falls into the pool, anytime anybody ever falls into the pool, into one of those covers, and they're like, surrounded by it and weighted down and they can't get, that's so terrifying. Just imagine falling into one of those things and just like slowly suffocating in it as you're trying to like find your way up out of it. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. So anytime I see that in a movie, I'm always like, oh god, what a terrible way to die. A lot of the deaths in this are like that for me. The hanging, as I said, was visceral. The head hitting against the sink is pretty fucked up. And then this kid drowning in the pool, it's really messed up. And then the friend from beyond the grave is the one who ends up saving Olivia and her sister. And then all they have to do is just burn the body and the board, and that's it. The curse is over. I mean, this is something they try to do in every one of these fucking movies, and this one actually makes it work, and that's that. Sis and Olivia are the only survivors. So yeah, it's just too generic for its own good. But they definitely ramped it up and got an amazing director for the next film, so let's go talk about it.